So you spent the last 8 months being excited about your pregnancy, and so has everyone else. But as you get closer to your due date, you have this sinking feeling. Instead of being happy and confident about your pregnancy and bringing your baby home, you start to get nervous and think that you don't know what to do, what to expect. Like you're actually going to be responsible for another human being. But no worries, no fears, friends. I am going to share with you some must-knows so that you can rock it out when you come home from the hospital. Let's dive in. Hey girl, hey, it's your birth bestie, Nurse Rini, and I have been an obstetrics nurse for 17 years. I have had the privilege of working with hundreds of families over the years, just like yours. And today we are going to cover the postpartum essentials, from feedings to sleep to your own recovery, so that you leave the hospital feeling confident and not left guessing. So let's get started. So it's pretty safe to say that in the hospital, you're going to feel pretty confident. After all, there's structure. You're surrounded by nurses and doctors who are experts in the field. And let's be honest, they offer a ton of support. I suspect that this is why many parents opt to stay another day rather than go home to their cozy bed. After all, home, which once represented a cozy, safe space, is now looking a little intimidating. It's quiet without the buzz of nurses, a little scary, and now you are home with your baby, and it's all on you. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to know everything when you leave the hospital. All you need is love and a few tips and tricks, and you and your baby will be fine. So number 1, you're going to continue to track feeds while you're at home. Remember how in the hospital you had to document how often you were feeding your baby and for how long and how much? Don't stop there, keep writing it down. You want to keep writing it down until you establish a rhythm that you're comfortable with. And you also want to have something to tell the pediatrician if they ask how feedings are going. If you are breastfeeding, remember that every baby is different. Just because your neighbor down the street is having a great latch with their baby doesn't mean that there is something wrong with your baby because they are having trouble latching. There are also babies who eat more than others, and that's okay too. What's important here is that you track the feedings, know your baby's hunger cues, and know when to call for help, whether that's your pediatrician's office or a lactation consultant. Here's a pro tip for you. A good sign that your baby is getting enough food is a wet diaper. That's right, what goes in must come out. So you know how if we aren't hydrated enough or if we are dehydrated, we don't really pee? That's the same with babies. So in addition to monitoring their feeding schedule, you also want to make sure that you're keeping an eye out on and tracking their wet diapers. This is going to be a good sign that your baby is hydrated or not, in addition to weighing the baby. Number 2, your safe sleep setup. So you have your nursery all done and set up, and it looks like a Pinterest photo. All of the plush toys and stuffed animals and the blankets. It's everything you envisioned. But in the hospital, you're going to learn about safe sleep for babies. Safe sleep is a high focus area because we want to avoid accidents. You'll definitely learn more about this in the hospital, but the goal is to avoid any harm coming to your baby. So the teaching is back to sleep. It makes me think of back to school, but anyway, back to sleep. You always want to put your baby on their backs to go to sleep, not on their stomachs, not on their sides, not on their sides with something propped up behind them. You want to put them flat on their backs. Additionally, you want to make sure that there is nothing else in the crib except for the baby. No blankets, no stuffed animals, no baby bumpers, none of that. So since you're learning about that now, before you go home from the hospital, you want to go ahead and take all of the things that are in the crib out of the crib. This will save you time and energy once you come home from the hospital with the baby. You literally want to be able to walk into your house after having your baby and be able to safely put them down and then collapse in the rocking chair in the nursery if you have one. Number 3, let's talk about your own recovery. Yes, you're responsible for a little person, but you still matter, mama. You've had days in labor and then you had hours of pushing, or you had days in labor and you ended up in a C-section, or you were a planned or scheduled C-section and you're worn out from that major abdominal surgery. At the end of the day, I just want you to know that you deserve to be tired. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to say you're tired. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And if they do try to say something, you send them over to me. But seriously, let's step back and take a moment to really appreciate all that you've done. You've taken time to grow this tiny human, and you've also brought this baby into the world. So here are some things that I want you to do to help navigate this time at home. Manage your pain. Lovelies, you don't have to be in pain. If you were prescribed pain medicine, then take it. If you were not prescribed pain medicine, then get yourself some Tylenol or Motrin if you're not allergic. Make sure you treat your pain so you can feel like your best self. Make sure you stay hydrated. Grab a tumbler now if you don't have one so that you can keep it in the nursery and you can stay hydrated. In addition to staying hydrated, making us feel like our best self, if you're breastfeeding or breast milk feeding, you cannot get blood out of a turnip, right? So you need to stay hydrated so that you have some hydration to give to your baby. Whether you had a vaginal delivery or a C-section delivery, take some stool softeners. Ain't nobody got time to be in the bathroom for minutes and minutes and minutes trying to have a bowel movement. But also, if you had a vaginal delivery, those muscles in the pelvic floor are still very weak. They're recovering just like the rest of your body. Stool softeners will give you grace when trying to use the bathroom. Hopefully, it'll also bring some ease. Same with the C-section. If you are taking pain meds, they can constipate you, so make sure you're taking your stool softeners. I highly recommend going out and buying those now before you go into the hospital so that they're already there when you get home. And lastly, but not least, but very important, you want to make sure that you rest when you can. Lovelies, I would schedule my rest if possible. If you have support at home, a support person, a partner, or someone who's willing to help, then schedule in 15 to 20 minutes of some shut-eye. Babe, we don't want you running on fumes. When I'm tired, I can feel slightly delirious, confused, or like I'm just walking around in a fog. So definitely make sure that you aren't feeling this way because now you have a little person to take care of. So make sure you get rest and don't let anyone tell you that it's not important that you do so. So I'm sure that you remember these questions about your mental health from when you were pregnant and when you were in the hospital having just had your baby. The emotional roller coaster still applies. Number 4, the ups and downs with your emotions is still really valid and super normal. Make sure you know the difference between baby blues and postpartum depression. Crying with the fluctuation in the hormones is completely normal. Feeling overwhelmed is completely normal. This is a new norm for you and you have to adjust to it. So give yourself that time and grace. And if you're crying your way through it, it's okay. But run it back to the information that you received on postpartum depression and make sure that you aren't suffering with that. And if you do feel like you're moving towards postpartum depression, it's okay. It does happen. What's important is that you acknowledge it and let your doctor or midwife know so that they can work with you to get you some treatment. I really want to normalize this feeling of overwhelm and fatigue and just not knowing what's going on with your emotions and your body. And I'm normalizing it because I want you to know that you're not alone. But go ahead, pick up the phone or log into the portal and let your provider team know. And let your support person know too. I mean, after all, that's what they're there for, to support you with helping with the baby, but also with helping with yourself. And let's bring it on home with number 5, asking for help and setting boundaries. You're taking on a new role as a mom and you may develop a new persona, and that's okay. There may now be boundaries that weren't there before. And if someone is offended by your boundaries, they probably needed them anyway. Like, ask yourself, why are you offended that I have boundaries, right? Like, that doesn't even make sense. So it's probably very necessary for that individual. But you'll see this as a running theme in my videos where I talk about scheduling your visitors and letting them be useful and helpful. If they're popping in, you can pop out and take a shower. If they're popping in, you can get out and go for a walk and get some sun on your face alone and meditate. But also the point is to not let them pop in, let them schedule time so that you can strategically use that time to make sure you're getting something out of the visit as well. And if all you want is some new company, then that's okay too. I would set the tone now and let everyone know that you're doing short visits that are scheduled. This way you won't feel any more overwhelmed than normal and you won't be inundated with visitors at the same time. Also, pro tip, you're not a host. You are the mom who just came home from the hospital with a new baby. So don't feel the pressure to cook. Don't feel the pressure to tidy up or any of the things. If they are coming over, they're going to get what they're going to get. But also remember, it's okay to say no, I don't feel like visitors, or today isn't a good day. So you know I can't leave you without some nurse gems. Keep the diaper caddy on every floor. You don't want to have to run around up and down the steps to get some diapers. Just keep a caddy on every floor and you'll be good to go. Have snacks for yourself at your feeding post. I would go ahead and say make that a caddy as well. Have some granola bars or some pretzels or something in a basket that you can keep in the nursery because they're sealed, but also you can spend time in there putting your baby to sleep or feeding the baby and not have to leave the room for snacks for yourself. Listen to your body. Make sure that you're checking in on yourself emotionally, physically. Don't forget that you still matter. These 3 hacks will make life so much easier for you. So my darlings, this transition home is a big deal, and I get why you'd be nervous. But I'm here to tell you that you've got it in the bag. I like to tell people it's hard to break a baby, and it's true. You are more ready than you think. You've been watching the videos here on this channel. You've been listening to and taking in the information that your nurse and doctor team are giving you in the hospital, and it'll all be fine. You'll rock it out. Just use this video for a little bit of preparation and give yourself some grace. It's okay. You don't have to know it all, and you don't need to know it all right now. All of it will come with time. Make sure you check out my website at yourjourneybirthcollective.com. We have some more classes available for you, and some of them are even free. And share this video with someone else who's pregnant who may need some encouragement. Make sure you watch the next video of mine, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Now where do we go from here? Tell me,